A whopping 76% backing Mkers, 24% there backing Parabellum. I say this quite regularly, but 24 seems to be the number that follows me around everywhere I go. That could be a sign here demo for Parabellum.
Right. Let's get into it. Mkers, first game of 6 Invitational, and of course, Ollie, this is massive for them as a team, the only Italian side to make it to this level of Rainbow Six, so obviously national pride is going to be a massive thing for them. And one thing we also have to keep in mind about Mkers, Ollie, they are the only team at this event who is not even inside of Tier 2, not even a Challenger League side.
A real outside team Mkers, you know, and it's fair maybe to bill them as a bit of an underdog because of that as well. Uncharacteristically, in the Siege that they play, they're actually going to be using their operator bans here, Demo. They famously choose to just forego this banning phase and just hit no ban, no ban. But here we're going to be seeing a Hibana and a Wamai being removed there by Mkers. Parabellum taking away 0. And having the final ban here as they do start on the defense here on Villa. VALKYRIE going to be taken away.
Villa, a map for Mkers that I wouldn't say the strongest for them. I look back to their 6th Invitational qualifier, which is how they got here, where they had to play 5 EUL teams, which is no easy feat for a very new and very young team at the time. They were able to knock off 5 big EUL boys, and they actually managed to play Villa against 2 of them. Played Villa against Temperate, and also played Villa against Team Secret, where they lost both of those matches. So, in terms of stats, Ollie, Villa hasn't been the best to Mkers.
No, I think Mkers got put under pressure there in the in the map ban, as we saw Oregon being the last available map along with Villa. It was something that Guz and Xenox both brought up there, that Oregon's a map that Mkers famously stay away from at all costs, so they were given quite a tough decision there as to which map they would like to play down. But it is a best of 1, so you won't really be getting a map that you're at least comfortable on. You know, you've got those couple of bans early on to remove things that you're dead set on not playing, but you do kind of worry about the depth of Mkers' map pool.
I think Parabellum have won the map ban phase. I think this is probably the best map they could take Mkers to. Villa, not as strong as Mkers, like I said, and Parabellum, this is their best map. I would say, I think if you look across the board, Villa has always been kind to Parabellum, and I think them being able to play it now, especially after what's happened with Oxygen, yeah, this is going to suit them right down to a T. I think Parabellum, they knew exactly what maps they needed to ban. They got rid of the cafes, they got rid of the coastlines. If you're letting Mkers have fun on those very heavy gun skill maps, Ollie, you're beat before you even get in the lobby. You're done.
Getting on into round number 1 here, we've got Mkers starting off on the attack. A trophy statuary defense is what is ahead of them. Kind of a nice setup as well. There's a soft wall in the middle of the statuary wall that goes and looks through into master bedroom. So there's opportunity there for sort of picks almost straight away. It does make master a lot more difficult to get in, and we can see that demonstrated by how aggressively Penguin is actually choosing to play.
Interesting setup, placing a deployable shield on the bed, which covers off the sight line you would have on that window, and should be easy enough, I imagine, for Mkers to eliminate that. Plenty of soft breach. You have nades from the sledge. You have even the Ash can do the job, so Sophia being the obvious one. There's a bit of utility dump they have to go through the Runa gates, and also a couple of ADSs placed down. So just time for Mkers. They know what they want to go for, a very standard bedroom take. Just finding out the information and then being able to successfully utility dump, which it looks as if they're going to go for it. C4 lands Penguin. That's a great way to start off this game. Eliminates the nades, and Penguin, oh, he's feeling crazy, only but the SMG is not kind to him.
Does manage to get himself back and safe. Akwi has gone below, and you can see he's almost waiting for some pings to come out to where he needs to be firing that launcher. Penguin has made a second challenge and has taken down Lolo. Gemini, he's right there. Please grab him. Yes, he will. Level things out at 3-3. Scrappy stuff there from both sides. A solid hold from Parabellum of that master bedroom. It really gave Mkers some problems there.
Yeah, Mkers with only a minute to go to execute onto the bomb site. I think Parabellum have done well with the idea that they had. Now all they need to do is don't give away picks, and they've done that. Eska stands up at the wrong time, and Sasha is there. Euphoria, though, able to swing a kill back in Parabellum's favor, and a 2 versus 2 is where it lies. 40 seconds on the clock. Can Mkers push through the last 2 remaining defenders?
Bit of time here to gather some intel as Gemini is going to hop into his drone. We can hear the breach being open now. Euphoria is going to be playing down there below. Spritz is going to be able to get a challenge on, and Spirits will find the kill there over onto Gemini. Gemini getting caught out. The Jaeger still allowed to be playing on these astronomy stairs. Sasha, you've got to go for the challenges now. There isn't a great deal of time remaining. He's now going to try and break these down as he's been unable to lock off the Jaeger playing on Astro. Going to push his way on into Trophy, getting caught out in the crossfire. This is beautiful time waste here by Parabellum. You got to swing and find that last kill. He's going to drop the hatch. He's got 1 second to do it. Goes for the swing. Oh, gets some shots in, but it is not enough. Spirits, he comes through with that final frag.
Wow, almost beating the buzzer, but no, just not enough ammunition in the main gun. Had to go to the pistol and not going to be able to do enough damage. Nice attempt though, but still Parabellum did the job. You have to give credit. Penguin in the opening half did it great at wasting time, being able to eliminate, I think, the sledge with the utility from the nades was a big thing. So yeah, overall, Parabellum and their idea of wasting time in that bedroom, it worked.
Parabellum had a really good idea of how they wanted to do that as well, and you could see that that setup is something that they've rehearsed and planned and practiced. You know, the laser gates working beautifully in conjunction with 2 ADSs, a castle barricade, a deployable shield. That's a lot of utility in one zone.
I have a question. Is it laser gates or laser gates?
Laser gates.
What is it?
I guess it depends on who you listen to.
Classic Tim. It's classic.
We do love a bit of laser gate action. It's something that we've seen you sort of skyrocket in terms of pick.
Yeah. Not this round.
Not this round. It hasn't been chosen this round, but with the way that Parabellum played it, it was very specific. And I don't think it's just something that they're going to bring on a whim. Everything seems to be quite carefully considered here for them on Villa.
Another castle pick, though. Back-to-back castles. Very rare to see, but I think with the way that Villa is in terms of the roam holes that you can have, with the secondary defenses you can hunker down, having those castle barricades is a great thing. And as you can see, it's being used above. So, in terms of a kitchen defense, most of the time attackers will go above. They'll try and utilize the verticality that you can bring with your bucks and your sledge. As you can see, Mkers have 2 of them. They have the buck and the sledge. So Parabellum in turn are going to try and set up above to waste time and try and find some kills and essentially go for a secondary defense on top of their bomb site. And talking about the bomb site, Gemini's about to stroll on in. Nobody is home. The only person is Sonar. And is he going to get picked off? Does Gemini know? It doesn't look as if he does. Sonar is still tucked in the corner. Now he swings. Diffuser's being planted, and somehow Sonar has got away with the kill. Shotgun comes out and it connects as well. Sonar, the one-man army, finally gets taken out, and all of a sudden, Euphoria has to pick up the pieces. A 1 versus 2. Acqui and Lolo. Diffuser is cold on the ground, but they have 2 minutes to do so. Euphoria now, as the drone will spot him out. They know exactly where he is. Acqui going to cover. Lolo will stick to Diffuse, and now it is going to be a post-plant. Euphoria, can he make it happen?
Euphoria, he's got a chance here. He's got some good kit to try and work this with, but needs to try and find this opener. Ooh, he had a chance at Acqui there as Acqui was just scurrying out and getting himself tucked away. Both attackers have retreated to the outside now. They've potentially got a drone on that diffuser as well. Euphoria starved here for information. Time continuing to tick. And you just know that utility's going to start coming in. Stun grenades just to burn a little bit of time. Maybe buy themselves a few seconds. Euphoria's going to leave it until the last second. Goes for a bait. Uses a toxic bait beautifully. But the push was there from Mkers. A nice pinch to confirm that final kill and respond with a round of their own.
Scrappy. Very scrappy is how this game is being defined. I mean, fair play, Mkers being able just to say, hey, nobody's in sight, let's walk in and take it. I'm getting FaZe vibes.
I mean, we've seen 2 rounds, and we've seen 2 rounds where a player has walked in front of a player on an opposing side, and it's just kind of been missed in the crossfire because, and it's not, I don't know why it is, it's almost because there's so much happening at that one time. Sona went massive there, but everybody else lost the gunfights.
Everyone else wasn't ready for it. They were not expecting Mkers to pull off that round. And one thing I will commend Mkers is that look how quick everyone on Mkers rotated around and adapted to the play that obviously Gemini really ignited that flame just to run into the bomb site. So you have to give credit to Mkers. They were able to adapt to what was happening around them. And hey, great, I think a great call from Gemini being able just to say, hey, it's on, let's go.
They're the kind of opportunities that you see Mkers taking as well. A very aggressive team, and if they're given that chance, then they are going to try and take it. An interesting setup coming out here from Parabellum. We've got a double mirror. Talk me through that demo, because I was expecting. Oh, right.
F in chat, please.
It's all gone wrong. Penguin's taken out Sona. That's your mute gun. It's a C4 gun. I don't think he even got down to placing any jammers. We were questioning the setup. I've seen mirror windows used inside of statuary to watch onto closet and master bedroom. That can be a really effective use of those mirror windows. They've got a double mirror window set up here, but you just start to question it a little bit.
Yeah, this is what I see sometimes from the 3 AM stacks. Wasn't expecting to see it here. Mirror windows being placed. It's not an uncommon thing. I see plenty of mirror windows be placed on essentially what they make as a triple wall, but having the other mirror there is a little bit strange. I don't know what they have in plan. I see a lot of teams, if they're going to roam on the statue side, they would actually use a mirror on that side as well, and Penguin, a little bit knackered.
I mean, just jumping out there, he's used some of his toxic babes, I guess, but running out there as the smoke, especially when you were the sort of culprit of the team kill earlier, it's usually a sort of custom and a tradition to try and go massive if you accidentally do team kill somebody in that prep phase. You feel like the weight is on your shoulders. He's gone for the run out there, and it just really hasn't worked out too well. Acqui has fallen on the side of Mkers, so they aren't without loss at this moment in time, but Mkers are hot on the heels of the roamer in Esker, and he is going to get cut down beautifully. Look at that for some effective roam clear from Mkers.
That's how you do it. That is a prime example of how to hunt the roamers on Villa. Crossfires galore. And yeah, Parabellum this round, they haven't been in it whatsoever. A 2 versus 4, Spirits and Euphoria all by themselves. Mkers a little bit split up. You got Gemini in the study. Scout's now going over towards the 90 window. Lolo and Sasha trying to push in from bedroom. So yeah, Mkers, I like the idea of being able to have different players in different positions. It means that Parabellum always have to fight on two fronts.
Obviously with Sona getting taken down early, it means there's going to be no mute jammer on that vault wall either. That can now be opened, and Euphoria finds himself in a tricky spot indeed. Manages to swing and find himself one. Gemini providing some cover from the study, but no, he's going to fall as well. Spirits has to go massive here. He takes a huge chunk of damage as he tries to challenge there through games. 40 seconds left remaining. Diffuser in the hands of Lolo. Now, these mirror windows could come back to hurt Spirits. I think he's maybe recognised that, and he's gone for a bit of a rotation. Scato doesn't have any intel, as Spirits has managed to rotate his way past these main stairs, and he's now threatening a bit of a swing there over into Aviator. Scato, he's going to be able to shut him down. Find that final frag. Mkers come away with a second round.
Mkers being able to clean up in that round, and again, just these rounds, you have no idea what's going to happen next. I should get the popcorn machine out. I just want to sit down and just watch it.
Parabellum going to choose to go back to AVG again, feeling like they have some unfinished business there. I think that's probably a fair decision, Demo. Suffering the team kill early, never ideal. So you feel like you've maybe not been able to give it your best shot. And Mkers, for all that they won the round and cleared out the roam game very well, it got a bit scrappy toward those final few seconds. I think there was a chance there where Spirits comes away with a couple more kills and maybe is able to clutch out that round. Certainly, if he got that long kill there through Aviator onto that study door, onto that far doorway at the top of these stairs, there's a chance there that he's then able to start to do something.
Wonder who Democast is predicting for Parabellum versus Mkers. Ollie, any ideas?
I'm not too sure. I think I think maybe you'd head for Mkers.
O Vaticano, Fatima Via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Any hints?
I mean, I wish it was the first time I'd heard that song, but you've been playing it non-stop for the 30 minutes before.
That was a secret. That's supposed to stay between me and you.
They're still going to rock with this mirror window setup. Euphoria has set his mirror windows up in exactly the same way. This time, though, we do have mute jammers.
How big of a difference is that going to make? I would say a massive amount. I think, like you noted too, not being able to have the mute jammer on the vault wall was very, very big for Mkers. Being able to just instantly open up that wall, they have the breach, and then they just play from there.
Esker going to try and hold over into Study. No initial push coming through. Sona has got himself lit, though. He's taken a lot of damage there as there was a bit of a threat coming up these east stairs. Aqui just going to be holding now at the bottom, threatening from below with Ash and the breaching rounds. Lolo going to be doing some reconstruction as the roam game is being hunted for here.
A lot of nades. A lot of nades. Scato really trying to hone in on this playstyle where you go below and use that vertical. Villa is one of the most destructible maps in the entire pool. If you actually look on like the, if we can get medics and you see the third person view, everything is wooden in the bomb site. Everything is wooden. Look at that. So much wood.
Lolo's going to find himself some success there, taking down Spirits. A swing from Scato. He actually had the sledgehammer in hand. Penguin not got any ammo in any of his guns to convert that kill. Is instead going to opt for the Toxic Babe canister to get the job done and just to guarantee that one. Lolo's still looking to make some pressure there at the bottom of those main stairs, but time continuing to tick here, Demo.
Yeah, minute 10 to go. Parabellum still have control off the top of main stairs, and Penguin fires out another Toxic Babe. Aqui's inside Study in a dangerous position with those mirror windows still being up and that wall being open that will be smoked off now, and Aqui's going to try and make a challenge onto that deployable shield. ADS will catch it though. Gemini, he's still below. He has to try and put the pressure, but Aqui will find Penguin. Now they have that main stairs control that they were after, Ollie.
They've been fighting for it for a good portion of the round, but now they've got it, and they've also got 40 seconds to try and work with. The push is going to come through a little bit one-dimensional from this side, though, and for all that reason, Gemini is going to make a rotation. Aqui finds the kill there over onto Esker. Gemini now can play that 90 window very safely indeed. Looks to maybe put some pressure on any rotating players, of which there's likely not going to be any, as Sona, he's struggling to find a safe haven inside of the site as Lolo hails him with bullets from below. Sona only got a couple of hit points there, but the shotgun's going to do the damage. He's going to find a kill, drop that diffuser. Can he grab the second? Yes, he can. He's got the diffuser here. All he's got to do is continue to get these frags. Aqui, he's going to be pushing in from the other side. The time's going to hit 0. Parabellum, they're going to win it out on time.
Sonar with the shotgun. Mkers feed him kills all day long. And Parabellum strike back with a round that, Ollie, they definitely needed to keep themselves in. You cannot allow Mkers to have just round after round momentum. Parabellum really working hard to get that one.
I really like what Mkers were trying to do there. They had Lolo underneath, and as the book, he's able to provide so much pressure up onto that site. As you noted, Demo, with everything being destructible, it's very easy to start rooting those players out. However, in those dying few seconds, we didn't see Lolo having enough of an impact. He could have found that frag over onto Sona, but instead, because of how much time had been spent clearing those main stairs, he wasn't in a position to actually do anything about the players on site.
Moving over to our trophy statuary once again. Parabellum, good strategy last time, and it worked well for them with the deployable shield being set up. And yeah, I think it was really inventive by them. Something I personally have never seen before, Ollie. And knowing them, they're probably going to go for it again. Looking at the lineup, yeah, more or less. Only thing is they're missing a deployable shield this time, though.
That seems like it could be a little bit of an error. Only because the deployable shield was pretty integral to the whole hold that Penguin was trying to pull off. You know, he was playing in the corner of Master Bedroom. It's a position that requires a deployable to be in. So maybe intentional, but maybe a little bit of a blunder. They'll have to see if there is a slight small change that Parabellum have looked to make. It's worth noting that both of the rounds that they've picked up so far have been coming down to the timer. You know, timer hitting 0-0. I know that we saw the final kill in the first round, but it was as the clock struck 1.
Parabellum actually going to try and hold the entirety of the top floor, not only in towards the bedroom side of things, but also towards study. Got a couple of reinforcements, some holds that they can try and utilize. And Spirits will be the lone man, and well, not for long. Gemini, so fast to get into the building, so fast to get a kill, and Mkers, they lead once again.
A good early pick there inside of the first 50 seconds. No pressure being shown toward Master this time. Mkers, they know what they're going to come up against over there, and they've maybe just chosen to say, you know what, that we know that you've invested a ton of utility over inside of Master Bedroom. We're not going to initially focus there at all. Instead, we're going to try and get a good old-fashioned clear from the AVG side and look to work through and possibly rotate somebody as the time gets low.
So Mkers got their control of study. I wonder if they'll rotate and maybe try for the bedroom as well. Doubt it. There's a lot of utility still stocked up towards bedroom. Maybe an Astro take, and then also coming in through Trophy would be my biggest idea. And Euphoria has been caught lacking. Scato with a sledge is able to find that kill. Penguin fires at C4, but to no avail, and a nade comes right back at him, and he's lucky to actually survive that, but it's right into the hands of Akwi. Eska finds one, but actually finds two, but that's all he's getting. Mkers, you blink and you miss, Ollie, just bang, and they've killed everyone.
The way that Mkers are setting up here for these crossfires is incredible stuff. The nade coming in there from Scato on the Astro Repel, having Akwi at the bottom of those astronomy stairs, knowing that the player has essentially one choice in that situation. You cannot make a move through showers. You can't choose to go into trophy or statuary. You have to go down astronomy stairs. If there's no ADS there because you've invested all your ADSs in Master Bedroom and you've got Akwi at the bottom of Astro stairs, it's a freebie.
They're exterminators. They're setting up for everyone to run straight into their crossfires. And yeah, that was a great round by Mkers. Probably should have been a flawless one. Would we treat it like that? It seemed like more or less a flawless one.
I mean, Eski gets 2 flashy kills there at the end to pad the stats a little bit. And in that situation, it's, you know, if you come away with 1 frag, it just is what it is. It's impactless at that point. Is there a small, slim chance that he could have flicked and got all 5? You only need 5 bullets, technically.
For UMP.
I mean, you still only need 5 bullets, Demo. It's, you know, it's one of those things, statistically, probably possible, but in reality, it's highly unlikely. It's all enough to force Parabellum to switch sides. Now, last time we saw Kitchen Demo, Gemini, he fancied a little bit of a mooch, didn't he? He just fancied a little bit of a walk on in.
You've seen it and thought, hey, I'll take that. It's free real estate. You know, I mean, all credit to Gemini being able to use those eyes of his to realize, hey, nobody's here, they're all upstairs. Great stuff. I wonder if Parabellum will fall into that same trap. I doubt it. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I think what it does do is it throws into doubt how much to commit to that top floor defense, because you need to be ready to adjust and to drop down if required.
The thing is, now that Mkers have pulled off that rush, they'll know that Parabellum have it in their head, hey, they could rush, we need more people in sight. Now they're going to go above where it's going to be weakened.
Exactly, because Parabellum don't want to overcommit because they know that that's what Mkers have done. It's unlikely that they'll do it again, but there's all the possibility that they will just decide, you know what, let's just push on the site. As it stands, Mkers are going for the more typical approach here, trying to get themselves established upstairs inside of Master. Penguin going to be playing in the showers at the moment. He's got a nice angle there onto the closet window. Oh, he's going to get a chance. A couple pre-fires exchange, but all he's really done is give the game away there.
Yeah, very good angle being held, and we'll see if any Mkers players fall for it. And Penguin, inside of the bathtub, is where it's to fall back, but Akwi's the man I'm looking for. swooping in, and he can be in a great position to maybe find maybe 1 or 2 kills. And Penguin, he's having a bath inside of the bathtub. He's letting everyone from Mkers run on into, and Lolo, can you find the kill? Can you? Penguin still fighting as much as he can, and Spirits is there with the cover. Mkers, their brute force attempt has not worked for them, and now they're at a 4 versus 2 disadvantage.
It's really good play that from Parabellum for a time. Spirits rotating himself up the astronomy stairs just to provide a little bit of extra support. As it stands, 2 kills now have gone in the favour of Mkers. Sasha and Gemini doing something to try and claw back this man count. There's still plenty of time for them to be working with, but Esker can gather as much information as he likes. Playing on the pulse in the site below, he's going to have a good idea of where these 2 remaining attackers are going to be pushing from. He can then feed that information off to his team, as Parabellum are in a position where they don't really need to peek all too much.
Yeah, just sit back, let Mkers sweat it out. They're the ones who are under pressure. They are on the attack. They have to get that diffuser down or they will lose. Let's see if Sasha and Gemini can pull something off. It is going to be a 2 versus 3, and, well, I mean, with the pulse, that gives a lot of information on the side of Parabellum that is definitely invaluable at this time. And oh, Spirits almost gives himself up, and oh, Sasha missed the head. He's seen him for a split second. Gemini, you should know he's there, and yes, he will find the kill. 2 of them inside of the A bomb site. Fire as much as he can, and Gemini with a triple. Esker found 1, and now it's into the 1 versus 1. 10 seconds go. Sonar, who has been a rock for Parabellum. Can he pull off this clutch? Can he find it for Parabellum? They go back and forth. Gemini now is going to stick the diffuser. He has to stick it. Sonar knows as he rushes in with the shotgun. Surely you should have this, and yes he will. Sonar again clutches up big time with a shotgun.
Look at the sigh of relief that Sonar gives there inside of the player cam. We saw it beautifully. He got that final kill. He took both hands off the keyboard and mouse, and he just took a second. He was like, phew, thank goodness I was able to get that off. That was a tense clutch demo.
Gemini again almost making something happen. Wow.
Massive plays there by Mkers. I mean, don't forget, that was what, a 2 versus 4?
Yeah.
2 versus 4 that started out as, so really good for Mkers to drag it back to the 1 versus 1. Gemini is looking dangerous today, but that concludes the first half of Villa. An equal 3-3 split, which by Villa standards is probably quite good going for Mkers.
I would have agreed with you a couple of months ago. I found that at the moment, Villa is turning actually very attacker-sided. So, it's up for debate. I don't think there is any really clear advantage, not like it used to be. You know, Villa was known as this defender-sided monster of a map that nobody can break down on attack, but as it goes, a lot more attack wins on Villa as the stats show anyway.
We'll have to see how Mkers deal with their defensive phase. Already we're seeing some pretty big differences here. Scato going to be picking onto the Maestro. It's an operator we've not seen up until this point. Gemini opting for the Goyo as well. Those Vulcan shields and shields in general demo, they can just be so good here on Villa.
Yeah, definitely something that has been a glaring issue for a lot of teams is the utility dump. You know, it used to be massive thing. All we go back in 2020, utility dump meta was everything. Now that it's not as frequent as much, some teams just a little bit falling out of favor of being able to attack that specific setup, and there is a myriad of shields. You look at the Maestro cams as well, which is something you have to consider. The only thing I probably would have said that I'm surprised Mkers don't have would be maybe the Molusi. I think Banshee is something that they run frequently, but maybe they're trading it off for your Kite. You have a bit of denial, which does help, and there is an extremely strong counter charge you can get that essentially nobody's going to be able to get rid of, and that is for the vault wall. You can place it on the other side of the wall behind a metal door that nobody's getting.
Let's see where Mkers choose to deploy that for the time being.
Where did he put it? Where
the wall isn't going to be electrified.
Why?
It does still have 1 in pocket, so there's a chance that we could see it being used, but for the time being, it is just going to be the wall there into games. Adjoining study. Lolo, it's a horrible angle that. Laid prone halfway on a stair is always a difficult one to try and deal with. And Nade does get tossed on up there by Esker. He's able to deal a good chunk of damage over onto Sasha.
both teams really favoring the vertical destruction you can have from below on this bomb site. Nades galore, you see the Ash launcher rounds as well. Obviously, holes work both ways, so you have to be careful yourself as an attacker. Defender can peek you at any moment, and Penguin, he's going to be the one to find the opening pick. Akwi is gone, a very scary player for Mkers on that 416, but we won't see any of that today. Oh, Gemini! He needs to calm himself. He can't do this on day one.
Gemini's popping off so far, really hitting his shots. He's going to lose the Vulcan shield there. As control of main stairs, has been gained very quickly here from Parabellum. I know that we've seen, nearly 2 minutes of play here, but they've not come up against much resistance there in gaining that. They can now place down some air jabs, although a roam and a rotation at this point from Mkers is probably going to be unlikely, as this is just going to be slugged out in gunfires.
Nomad pick's going to be very strong for a team like Parabellum to have whenever Mkers can flank at any moment. There is hatches still that can be dropped down. Red Stairs is the big one as well. A lot of teams will like to kind of rotate around through. So yeah, I think the Nomad pick for them is going to be great, just at containing these Mkers players. And talking about this kind of roam, aggressive nature that Mkers can have, we see a little bit of that from Lolo. And oh, Penguin, another kill. This Thermite is going off. A double kill for him, Gemini and Sasha and Lolo. 3 kills out of nowhere for Mkers, and there's the 4th. Wow, Mkers just turn on the head.
Parabellum looks really in control for a lot of that round. I loved that late rotation that they made in and around the minute mark. They really switched things up, tried to hit from East Stairs side and come in through that vault doorway. It wasn't something that worked for them in the end. Ultimately, they still didn't have control of Vault. I think had they taken a little bit more time there, Demo, and if Parabellum had have then chosen, you know what, let's get our exothermic charge on that vault wall, because that's where a lot of the kills came from Mkers in those dying few seconds. It was a bit of a difference there between the way that we saw Mkers attack onto AVG. The vault wall was a focus because it was available. I believe the vault wall was still available in this round, yet it was something that Parabellum didn't choose to take advantage of. Now, we are just taking a short break. Mkers, they've chosen to use their tactical timeout.
It's a bit strange to see teams who've just won a round go for the timeout, but I imagine they probably would have liked that round a little bit cleaner than it was. Again, this scrappy mentality that both teams have kind of went into with this, just saying, hey, let's just slug it out and we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, like you said, that vault wall, very, very big for Mkers in their attack. Parabellum not going for it. I think 90 control is a necessity for attackers. That 90, it's a scary thing to up against if you don't have it.
We didn't see anybody on 90 window. If we did, we would have seen Lolo taken down there because he was able to challenge briefly onto East Stairs. We didn't see anybody challenging onto the vault wall. So the push from Parabellum, while it was good, and whilst they did make the rotation, I would have just liked to see one of them splinter off a little bit and just 90, apply a bit of pressure from elsewhere, that 90 being the zone. I quite like that tactical timeout personally. I think it takes away a lot of the momentum out of the game, which Mkers don't really need at the moment because they're on the defense and they're feeling quite good. Because let's face it, Parabellum in that round, they came out swinging. They were pre-firing absolutely everything.
I think Parabellum, their strat book's just been thrown out the window. You know, whenever the Thermite is getting the entry kills, you know stuff isn't a normal game of Siege. It's not a normal game of Siege. This is just outright gun skill. I think the trades that both teams are getting is phenomenal. Both teams so far have played extremely well, and it's very, very close to call who's going to be taking this victory. I think the next round will decide it, though. If Mkers can take that 2-round lead on defense, then it's go time for Parabellum. They really need to dig deep and fight back. But if it's 4-4, we continue this trend of back and forth.
At least this time we're more guaranteed to see something get opened by Parabellum. Didn't see anything open in the previous round. There was no hard breach, even though Thermite was there. So there's a chance that we see something actually get open this time and they can gain some control. There's much less utility being played inside of Master than when we saw Parabellum on the defense. Instead, Arcade will have to suffice on the statuary wall, sorry. Already we're seeing the wall there opened into showers. It's a nice one, that, though. It's going to cut off a lot of rotation.
That Kite being brought again, but is it going to be able to do much against the Thatcher? And there goes an impact trick and another Kite charge. Will that ace get off the Salmon? No, it's been tricked, Ollie. Bad stuff for Parabellum. Gonna really struggle now to get into the bomb site without the main wall being opened. Yeah, they're just gonna be running into doorways.
We don't tend to see a lot of tricking anymore, so good utility time in there from Mkers. Acqui with a really strong position there on the astronomy stairs. Maybe just a little bit worried about the lower part of the stairs, but he's got a couple of ADSs and a shield to be working with. And let's face it, that's where a lot of the push is now going to come through. Spirits is going to be underneath, trying to get rid of that deployable, and will do so, but all that's really done is given Acqui a bit of a target. He now knows that somebody is playing below, and it just gives him something extra to think and worry about.
I just hope everyone understands like how clinical it is that Mkers have managed to get off the impact tricks and the kite tricks. The fact that that triple wall isn't open, Parabellum just have to literally run in through doorways and up staircases and trade kills. There is no long angle fights, it is sheer gunfights. And talking about gunfights, here comes the first one down in towards the Astro stairs. Lolo hits them from behind and eliminates Eska, but study control is in the hands of Parabellum for the meantime. As you can see, Lolo still trying to cause a ruckus from below, but no, decides to come back upstairs. Scato, the lone man inside a statue, has the Alda, and we know, Ollie, that thing can pre-fire for days.
They really can. Penguin's going to commit now and make his way through into Astronomy. Sasha does take down Sona. Scato a second. Spirits now he's left wanting inside of Astronomy. Can't make his way through the rotate. Knows exactly where someone is. Meets the SMG-11 at close range. It's now all down to Euphoria. He's managed to find himself one. Scato has unfortunately taken down Sasha with the Vulcan shield there, but the pre-fire is coming through from Scato on that Alda. Euphoria left to try and find these final two frags inside of 10 seconds. The diffuser's cold on Astro. Lolo picks the final kill up. Mkers, they edge a 2-round lead now here on Villa.
A lot to ask for from Parabellum. That triple wall not being opened. So difficult to get through, Ollie. It really is. Just that one little nick in the armor was enough to cripple Parabellum. So that's the first 2 rounds done for Mkers on the defense, and if they can get another, that's him onto the match point. And from there, Parabellum, the heat is on.
Let's talk about Gemini while we've got the scoreboard up. 11-5. The guy currently has a 1.90 rating. He's hitting 100% cost. Just going nuts, Demo. Nobody on the side of Parabellum is really, you know, contesting in that sort of field. No one's standing up.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I think Gemini coming into this competition was definitely a highlight player for Mkers, someone who can show up in the day. I think along with Acqui, you look towards them too to be that the kind of main standout. But I think everyone from Mkers are all equally strong. Every single one of them have their pros and their cons. Every single one of them can turn up in the day. All of them can clutch. It's just a very well-rounded team, and I think it's showing. Everyone at least getting 5 kills for Mkers. Everyone putting in a shift, putting in the effort. And, well, I mean, fair play to Parabellum. They're equally doing the same. All of them near enough around the same kills, but they are missing that key player to really carry them.
They're missing the standout at the moment. At the start of the game, it looked like it could have been Spirits. Your classic Ash Jaeger main had a good start over on the Jaeger, but quickly started getting shut down here by this Mkers side.
Oh.
Acqui's done it to him. He's gone for the fly out of the windows, found it down, but has been taken out. That really is quite akin to what we're used to seeing in our home region there, Demo.
Yeah, that's the UK boys for you. That's a users.M&M right there. That is, yeah, so difficult to play against. But, I mean, Parabellum have been able to get away without losing anyone. Acqui, hey, if he wanted to trade a kill for a kill, sure, that's fine, but he didn't get the kill, so a bit of a waste opportunity.
It is. We'll have to see if it hurts Mkers in this round. Games are won and lost on, you know, small margins here inside a Siege. I'm not suggesting that that's going to be the reason for Parabellum's comeback if they do make one, but it is an opportunity for them now to go at this from a man advantage.
Lolo below with the pulse, a lot of information he's been able to gather. You can see Penguin outside on the balcony. Just sees the one, so that's good information. Mkers now know that the majority of Parabellum will probably be coming from the south side of the building, and that's exactly where they're coming from. Already have control of the landing, and Now they're going to have to try and move in and see if they can secure this trophy and statuary as quick as they can. Once they get in there, then the vertical game can begin, and Mkers have to really move, and a double C4 from Gemini and Sasha. That has flipped things entirely in favor of Mkers now. The failed spawn peek from Akwi doesn't seem to matter, Ollie.
It really doesn't. Esker's going to find a kill over onto Lolo. A nice vertical angle being used there, but Scato responds with one of his own. Penguin down, hard breach down, Diffuser cold on the ground. It's now a 2 versus 3, so really not the end of the world for Parabellum. They've got 50 seconds to try and make something happen here, but they are left challenging on these vertical angles. Again, we're not going to see anything open in this round by the hard breacher. Euphoria now going to look to try and push his way down Astro, but you can kind of see by his crosshair placement, he's lacking a little bit of information there, really checking every nook and cranny as he doesn't know where anybody is. There is information, however, for Scato. He's got a Z-ping to try and work from, scurries his way out of bicycle, hits the pro, finds the headshot, draws for the pistol. Scato, go on, find yourself this last kill. Everybody on the side of Mkers knows where Euphoria is. Scato's going for style points here. Sasha swings him with the shotgun. The round goes to Mkers, and that puts them on a match point here on Villa.
He's taken the mick. That's what he was doing, Ollie. He could have easily have just killed the guy. Oh no, I'm going to go for the hip fire.
Well, the first kill was a hip fire, and then he tries to get the second kill as a hip fire with the pistol.
Playing for clips.
Playing for clips on day one of the group stage.
Only Mkers.
Inside of SI21.
At the end of the day, Ollie, Mkers have nothing to lose in this competition. Are they expected to win this? Some people would say yes. Actually, quite a few people would say yes. But they're not expected to, yeah? They are here just to play Siege, and they're having fun with it. And that's it.
Match point there confirmed for Mkers as we enter now into what could be the last round. Aviator and Games Room is going to be the site. Now, this is an objective demo that we saw played out back, I believe, in round number 7. We did see Parabellum have a pretty good start at this. It was their first round on the attack. They came out invigorated. They knew that they could get a couple of rounds here and they were going to give it the best shot. Now, that kind of happened, but all up until a point. We didn't see the all-important vault wall being open. We didn't see, key areas being pushed and pressured like 90 window or 90 corridor. This time, Parabellum has switched things up a little bit. They've brought the blitz. What's something that Mkers haven't brought, maybe because they're kind of reading into the playstyle of Parabellum, they haven't brought any denial demo. Where's the Cade? Where's the mute?
I think with the Thatcher being available inside of Villa, which is a very, very rare sight to see Thatcher not being banned out, the denial operators, like you said, your Kides, your mutes, aren't as strong as what they normally would be if you're playing with a Thatcher ban, and for that, Mkers have probably realized within the first kind of couple of rounds in their defense, it wasn't really worth it. It wasn't really working. Parabellum were always bringing the Thatcher, but I mean, this time around, the irony is that they don't have a Thatcher, they have a Blitz instead.
Shields do tend to be crutched onto when times are getting a little bit tough, and I kind of worry if that's the position that Parabellum are feeling like they're in at the moment.
DC event?
I mean, we just see teams that, like trying to pull the Monty out or trying to pull the Clash out if they're really struggling for a round because they're looking for that sort of brute force and that bit of a difference maker if they're struggling in the gunfights. Euphoria isn't going to check his corner. No, he's right there. Akwi finds one. Can he grab the second? The DMR is not working for him at those long ranges. Sonar is able to take down the star player currently on the side of Mkers, and that is Gemini.
Akwi really should have had a second one there as well, but the DMR is not working for him, and he's all of a sudden back in more or less the same position. Is he going to rotate back to piano? Yes, he is. Aska is able to dodge right past that hold, and now Spirits is here with the Blitz. He can gain the information to supply to his teammate. That's one thing about the Shields, is that they're not there to get the kills. They are there to find the information.
Penguin's got a ping to work from. He knows that someone's likely going to challenge on from the doorway, but with there being a hole inside of the wall as well, he's got 2 angles to try and challenge onto. Getting quite brave and aggressive as he's fully pushed up there as Spirits is trying to land some hipfire shots, but Penguin's just got too many angles to check. He finds one over onto Scato. Sonar a second. This could be a round here for Parabellum, and it is much needed. Sasha throwing out the Toxic Babe canisters, trying to deny that ingress from these attackers. Akwi, he's rotated himself himself all the way and is now looking to challenge onto this aviator door. As Esker just dips into the Toxic Babe smoke there and makes a small rotation. There's still time left to play, but no, Aqui goes for a swing. Sasha, he finds one, but he's now got himself into the 1 versus 2.
Here we go, Sasha. Game face on. Can you clutch this up for your team? Go into the first day with your first win. Oh, what a shot! Sonar is down. Diffuser being stuck by Eske. Sasha knows he's been down and he gets it! Sasha pulls off one of the most ridiculous shots we have seen this competition and glides through the bomb site, finds the defuse carrier, and that is all she wrote for Mkers versus